About 10 years ago, I moved to the West Coast from New Jersey. And I thought that this was the best move for me at the time, but it was a really tough time. I knew that coming out here was going to be tough because I knew that it was very expensive out here. I had visited one other time before I had came out here to finally, live. The thing is that I felt for a really long time is that I didn't want to be 80 something years old and wonder what if I would have came out here? What if I would have gone through with it? I didn't want to have that kind of regret. And I'm sure there's probably something in your life that you are thinking, I need to try this, because if you don't, you will feel that something is not finished or something is unfinished if you don't even try it. But I wanted so much to create a life for myself out here. I wanted, acting and voiceovers and etc. But when I got out here, my plans were quickly interrupted or disrupted. And I kind of feel like it started even before I left, because it was hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And when I think about it, sometimes you think, like, what is the hurdle that I'm supposed to jump and what is supposed to be the roadblock? That's still something that I kind of go back and forth about, because I'm not quite sure how to tell the difference. How do you tell the difference between this? If you know, put it in the comments. How do you tell the difference between something that is a roadblock, meaning, okay, you're not supposed to go this way, you need to take a different path and pursue something else, as opposed to, well, if you want it bad enough, you will jump over this hurdle to get to it. But while out here, I went through things that I never would have imagined going through. And I could probably say that these have been like the toughest 10 years of my life. And I mean, literally, from the moment I moved into a place, like it was like a snowball, and it was something that I could not get in front of. Like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In the middle of this 10 years, towards the latter half of the 10 years, I looked into deepening my relationship with God. And while at the beginning of that quest, I went through a lot of different emotions. And one of the different things that I thought about was, what if this was or is punishment? What if I did something so horrendous that is why I am constantly having to maneuver myself around these obstacle courses, or that it feels like I'm walking on eggshells? And for a long time, I did think that I was being punished. It was during the time that I started looking into this relationship that I would hear things like, asking God before you do anything. But that was the first thing that I remember hearing, and I was just like, wow. I was like, the one thing that I did not do, I did everything else to prepare and get ready for this move. The one thing that I didn't do should have happened before I did anything, which was consult with God to see if this was even what I was supposed to do or what I should have done. So I thought, because I didn't do that, okay, I'm being punished for that mistake, because I didn't go to Him first. So I had a lot of sadness and guilt around that, because I didn't think to do that. And then there were other things that I thought about as well. For instance, I came out here for one thing, but in pursuit of that one thing, I have been able to do various different things. And like I said in another video, I don't believe in coincidences. So I do believe that I learned all of these different things for something. I don't think anything that I've picked up, that I've learned through this journey here is going to waste or will go to waste. I do believe that everything will have its place in my life at some time, at some point. I just don't exactly know when, but I don't think that the things that I picked up were a waste. I will have to say though, getting on this path of growing in my faith, I do not believe would have happened if I did not go through what I went through while I was here. And that's kind of sad to say, but I'll say it this way. I'm not sure it would have happened if I would have stayed at home and if I wouldn't have, picked up and came all the way out here. Like, I don't think that it would have happened. What has come out of this 10-year period is, I think, an amazing testimony that I have in another video, but also the fact that I left home looking to find my way and ended up finding the way. Because I'm not sure from where I was back home, I'm not sure how that would have happened, how that would have taken place. And I'm pretty sure it would have, but in my mind, I can't think of how it would have happened. And for it to happen out here makes sense. So maybe all the things that I was going through all were trying to direct me to God. Because in another video, I do mention how hard it is to ask for help, and sometimes you have to humble yourself to do so. And I did that not only with people, but I also did that with God while I was out here as well. And I think when you try to do things on your own, sometimes they won't work out until you go to God. That's one thing I think I've learned, that I picked up within these 10 years. The other thing that I think could also possibly be in play here is all those things could have been protection from something as well. So the testimony that I have is something that could encourage other people. And I think that that's part of the reason that I went through this. They say that nothing you have been through will go to waste. And I think that all the things that I went through is something that could encourage someone else to keep going. And I've said it here before, because I've heard it somewhere put, once you experience it, once you go through it, through your story, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to other people who can identify with what you're going through or what you went through, and also it could help them get through it as well. So even though it was the most difficult time of my life, I do think he took all of that stuff and was able to bring me to him. And not only bring me to him, but also give me something to tell other people about what he did for me and the grace that he showed me. So I do think that those are important. And then not only that, but also to, within my life, to continue to build the relationship with him. So yeah, I think that this journey had a whole lot of things going on. Through everything, it led me back to God. And I think that's probably the most important thing of the whole journey. So let me know in the comments if you had plans that you wanted to do something by a certain time or whatever that you neglected to talk to God about. How did that work out? And if you do talk to God before you make decisions or think about doing things, what is your practice? How do you do that? What does that look like to you? I'm curious to find out in the comments, so I will read them. I think that is it for this video. Go ahead, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when the next video will be up. And until the next one, I will see you soon.